Lifetime, baby.
It's lifetime.
So yeah,
we on.
about to do this shit right. So hopefully, let's see who comes on, man. It should be fun. I think let's go into this the mock draft. When do you want to start that? You want to start that later or right now?
Shoot, man, we can get it going now.
So let's wait for some people to get in.
Yeah.
And then we can go in and actually do the. So we're actually going to do a mock draft, but it won't be a real mock draft. What we're actually going to do is go over the top 25 players. I wish there was a way I could pin that message on here.
Let me grab my phone.
Comment. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to pin this message. Going over the top 25
you can pin the rankings.
overrated and underrated. So yeah, we're going to do the rankings if they're overrated or underrated. We're going over all top 25 players. So let's see if I can pin this. What's happening, Raina? So yeah, A1, my guy, what's happening? What up? How y'all living today, man? So today we're gonna go over the top 25 overrated and underrated the top 25 players and call them out overrated, underrated. So like, is Christian McCaffrey overrated or underrated? We're gonna go through the top 25.
We're on ESPN.
Your boy Dan is here
What up?
with me.
We out here.
Yeah, let's just do ESPN or I feel like Fantasy Pros, something
Fantasy
else.
Pros?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ESPN is whack. Not a fan of ESPN, man. And if you want to hop in, hop in the combo, hop in, man. We can do live together. It's all good. If you want to hop in and join in and you're able to go live, we on it today. We got a little bit of time. So, oh, shit, what happened with Ruggs? I didn't see.
Nah, I'm about to go right now. Hang on.
Fuck, what happened with Ruggs? Cam Newton
COVID?
thoughts. He got COVID, you
I
think?
don't know. We'll see.
Hopefully it ain't hurt. Otherwise, we Brian Edwards season.
Hello. Let's go. Let's go, Brian Edwards.
Brian Edwards season. Cam Newton thoughts. All right, so before we get into the rankings, we will answer a few questions. A1, if you got the Ruggs news, pop it in. Cam Newton thoughts, man. So my thoughts on Cam Newton is that he's obviously going to be in a QB. I can go live with y'all if you want. Hey, Raina, hop, man, we're going to hop in, Raina. Hop in. It's good. Cam Newton, man. Cam Newton's my guy. And so I'm going to talk a lot about Cam Newton this season.
I only got Henry Ruggs put on 13 pounds in off season.
Woo! Hey, and they try to talk
That's what I
shit. They try to talk shit about my
They
Ruggs
did.
rankings,
They
bruh.
did.
I know what I'm talking about, man. So, and it's Arav. Okay, what's happening, Arav? We're calling him A1 this whole time. Arav, all right. But Cam Newton, man. Cam Newton's my guy. And obviously the rushing floor is going to be there. He said he doesn't want to be a battering ram anymore, which is understandable. I mean, at this point in his career, he's getting older. He can't take those kind of hits anymore. So when it comes to Cam Newton, I'm drafting him as if he's like high upside QB2. Arrow. My bad.
Arrow.
Raina's name is Arav. Got it. So Arav and Arrow.
We're working on it.
We working on it, dog. My bad. Arrow. I'm a row. But for me, Cam Newton is a very high upside QB1 or QB2, excuse me, with potential to be a QB1, back in QB1. Just depending on how they utilize him, man. I think he's still going to be running the ball. They're still going to run him in the red zone. I think it's just not going to be as frequent. Like last year, they were running him 2-3 times into the red zone, you know, and that's tough on a guy that size and that age. And we saw with Ben Roethlisberger, same thing, kind of dropped off. So obviously, we're going to, hey, all right, here he is. Rob's coming in. But yeah, when it comes to Cam Newton, what's happening, my guy?
What's good?
Hey, how you living, dog?
I'm all right.
What up?
Enjoying the summer.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
I know we got our disagreements, but it's all love.
Hey,
love.
it's all,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You can either take it personal like some names. I ain't going to drop the name. You can take it personal like some names.
AZ today.
Or you can just have fun with it, man. And I'm glad you have fun with it, man. It looks like we on the same wave, like taking the TikTok trends and making them into fantasy, man. How long you been doing this, man?
Honestly, just this summer, like late June. I'm in high school, so I mean, I just picked it up right now.
Yup.
And I'm just seeing how far we can take it.
Yeah, man. Good for you, man. Just keep it going. We just started in June too, so we just decided that want to do something fun. We like to have fun with it, man. I mean, don't take it personal. Anything that we do,
No.
and it's super just for fun and for likes and for shares, man. We all have the same goal.
Yep.
The goal is to grind and goal is to hit it big. So, man, we're just having fun out here. So don't take it personal.
Hey, it's all good. So Rob, man, what we're going to do is I don't know how much time you got. We're going to go into our top 25, the top 25 players and call them overrated, underrated. So if you got a little time, kick it with us for a little bit, man. We're going to try to answer some questions. Let's do this. Let's do questions at the end. Let's just get right into the rankings.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I went ahead and we're looking at Fantasy Pros, their rankings. Typically, I'm assuming that this is more of a standard scoring, so I'm just going to change it real quick to PPR. So it's just a standard PPR league, probably a 10 to 12 team rankings. So at the number one tier, we got Christian McCaffrey. Is he overrated, underrated, about the same value? Where do you have him, Justin?
Here we go. I'll start off. C-Mac, you got to take him number one. I think he's the default number one. You know, when he plays, he is by far the number one player. They force feed him the rock. I think he had his down year last year. A lot of times when you have a great year, which he did 2 years ago, it often comes with the fall. There's always some type of regression. I think we saw that last year with C-Mac. But I think this year we know where he's at. If you take him, Dalvin, Saquon, you're kind of just gambling at who you think is going to be number one. I think you have to default with health, with the position that he's on Carolina. They force him to rock. I think you got to go with C-Mac at this point. Who you got?
Go ahead. Who you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, no disagreements there. CMC's one. If any, I don't think you can call him underrated because he's going at one. Right. If anything, maybe he's a tad overrated because we maybe don't know how the offense will look with Darnold. Maybe C-Mac isn't as they don't depend on him as much. Use DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrence Marshall a little bit more. But I think he's still the default. Yeah, number one for sure.
Yeah. For me, he's probably at value. I mean, he's probably the most safe running back for me. He's very intelligent. He dominated in college. He's been dominant since he got here. They're going to still rely on him because Sam Darnold, man, we don't really know exactly what he's going to do. Hopefully, he was an upgrade with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
So I think, and obviously Mike Davis, the talk of the town everywhere. He's gone. So you got Chubb Hubbard there, who's I'm a fan of his in the later rounds. If you have McCaffrey as far as dynasty or in the later rounds, you want to handcuff a dude. I like Chubb, but I think he's a default. I think he's at value at this point.
For sure. So obviously Christian locked in number one from all of us. We got one of the comments is Alvin over Christian. So we'll have to get into Alvin here in a little bit. But the next player we got is Dalvin Cook. So Dalvin Cook is number two right now. I'm gonna let you go first, my man. You think he's overrated or underrated?
Again, at two, it's really hard to be underrated. So I'm gonna say you're getting him at value. He's not overrated, underrated. The only risk is his injuries. Yeah. That's all there is to Dalvin. Otherwise, he's a stud.
Yeah. So for me, Dalvin is a top tier talent. I think he's proven that. I definitely don't think he's overrated at that point. I think it's a good, solid pick, especially for redraft. You don't really care. To me, in redraft, you don't really care about injuries or what he's had in the past. Obviously, he's recovered from his ACL injury before. We've seen him be dominant. He's going to have the same amount of touches, carries, red zone looks. I mean, the team has not really changed. So you're basically getting the same team production as probably what you had last year. Hopefully, Kirk Cousins continues to grow as a quarterback, but he's kind of who he is. So
he might be out the door, bro.
I mean, he could be out the door. That's cool. I mean, that could happen. And you would like that for a potential Justin Jefferson ascension. But I think Dalvin is a good solid pick at two.
All right, well, I'm going to say overrated. I love Dalvin. I love Dalvin Cook, but I think when you're taking him this year and you called it the injury risk, man. With Dalvin, we saw him last year. I mean, he was limping out of games every other game, it felt like. And he's just one of those players, to me, it seems like an ankle injury is likely. And I know the injury stuff it's tough to talk about that because it's part of the game, but you don't wish an injury on somebody and you don't draft for injury. But unfortunately, Dalvin's the kind of player we've seen him get nicked and bruised. And it's not like they don't have a capable backup with Madison coming in there. So if you got Madison in there, I think they may even try to take some of the load off of him this year. Or if they switch QBs, if Dalvin's hurt, he might be the type of person to be a shutdown candidate later in the year. So I look at Dalvin and I'm looking 15 through 17 for playoffs. To me, Dalvin seems like a little bit more risk than I want at number 2, but I mean, he probably is the number 2 player. I'm gonna just say overrated to be a little different. Any Texans worth taking? Nah, don't take no Texans. Overrated, agree. Cool. All right, who's number 3?
Number 3 is Alvin Kamara. I'm gonna
Go ahead and start on that
I'm
one.
gonna
Yeah.
start off with this one, Alvin Kamara. I think he's a bit overrated at that position for me. Pick 3. You'd like to see a little bit more consistency at the quarterback position since we don't really know exactly what's going on. Taysom Hill kind of proven to take goal line carries from Alvin Kamara, but Alvin Kamara is elite talent to me. I mean, I'm not really worried. I know that he's going to produce. It's just
Yo, I think your audio's a little quiet.
my audio's quiet. Can you hear me now?
That's much better.
Okay,
Yeah, much
shit. I
better
was
now.
probably covering it with my hand. My bad. So for
Yeah.
Kamara, I think talent-wise, he's an elite talent. We know he's going to be great, but as far as when you're up there at pick 3, I think is a little bit overrated for him at that position because, you know, again, we don't know the quarterback situation. If it's Winston, I like him a little bit better. If it's Taysom Hill, he's going to get some goal line carries sniped. So I'm overrated at this point at pick 3 for him. What do you got?
I agree. If we knew it was Winston, I'm fine with Kamara at 3. But the possibility of Taysom's there, and with that point, I'd actually take Henry over Kamara at 3.
Ooh, Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I know we'll talk about Saquon later, but as of right now, I'm gonna wait a little bit on Saquon with his health stuff.
All right. Well, we're on.
So we're on Alvin right now.
Alvin. Okay. So Kamara to me is overrated. Overrated for sure. He lost his offensive coordinator. He's changing different quarterback. They're gonna push the ball downfield a little bit more. Kamara's good. Don't get me wrong. Kamara's good, and shit, I'll take him. If I got a top 5 pick, I'm taking him. I'm not letting him go by me. But I think he's overrated for a number 3 pick. If we're expecting another 6 touchdown game to save a season at the end of the year, we saw what he looked like with Taysom Hill, a little bit less involved in the offense. Drew Brees was known to getting him down for those 10 catch games, 12 catch games, and I don't see it this year. If Jameis is in there or if Taysom's in there, I just don't see that type of volume. Could we be wrong? Yep, but I don't see it. I think he's overrated right now. If you guys have
and one thing with
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I know you can go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys have any comments, any players that are not in the top 25, throw them in there. We'll try to fit them in. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say with Kamara also, Latavius Murray does get touches. People kind of forget about him, but he does get his carries. Sean Payton likes using Murray, so just another thing to keep in mind.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so number 4, we got Derrick Henry. So for me, I'm with you. I would take probably Henry over Kamara this year. Again, it's redraft. Redraft purposes, I like Derrick Henry. I like the addition of Julio Jones. It's another asset to keep from the box being stacked on him. I mean, he's a beast, really. He's healthy. He's always going to be there at the end of the season. The Titans are contenders, so he's not going to be benched later on in the year like maybe a Dalvin Cook. That's a good point Justin made. I mean, Henry is just superhuman, and if it's redraft, you're not really worried about his production. You're not worried about his a million carries every year. He's going to be fine. I think honestly, he's probably the safest top 5 running back that there is because you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get 1,300 yards, probably more. I mean, he's damn near a 2,000-yard runner every year just based on – and, he's going to get about 10 touchdowns. It's just you worry about his catches from a PPR standpoint. You want him to catch the ball more. But, I mean, I'm with you as far as getting him over Kamara. I think he's at value or probably a little bit underrated at pick 4.
Michelle. What's happening, Fantasy Dude? Fantasy Mob, I see you too. We're going to talk about Aaron Jones in a minute.
Elite Takes. What's up, Nico?
Derrick Henry, man. My last name is Henry. That's my cousin, man. So I like Derrick Henry. But 2,000 yards, man, that's a lot. He had 378 touches last year. I'm going to go a little overrated, too, at pick 4. I like Derrick Henry, and I think he'll have a good season. But when you don't add the catches in there, to me, that does kind of limit your ability to be that number 1 guy, which what we're looking for. Out of these top 5 picks, we're looking for, who could be the number 1 RB. And, I mean, he had a hell of a season last year. But to me, there's the upside is actually trending down now that Julio's there. That's a new red zone target for Tannehill. To me, it seems like they're going to limit his. They're going to probably start to reduce some of his touches. There's no way I see him going for 375 again. There actually used to be a thing about the curse of 300 back in the day. I don't know if it still applies, but I think there's more upside in a couple of the picks later on. So for me, Derrick Henry is a slightly overrated.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I think the crazy part is he had an insane season last year, and he somehow still didn't finish as the number one running back in
That's
PPR.
hell of a point. Hell of a point,
So,
man.
and I mean, we're not expecting him to recreate that season. So, if he even regresses a little bit, he still probably won't be a top 3 running back in PPR leagues, which is why he's a safe RB1.
Yes.
Just the upside might be lacking a tad.
Yeah.
So maybe Kamara is the upside pick. I don't know. It's a tough one to decide.
It is because you got to think about, like, there's the floor and the ceiling. Obviously, with Henry, we know where he's probably going to finish. With Kamara, there's a lot of unknowns. So I get your point in taking him, but then you're also just capping your upside a little bit for to lose some risk. So pick number 5. I'm gonna start off with this one. This is one of our first posts that really went like super nuts. Zeke Elliott is the number 5 guy, and so I told people early on, hey, avoid Zeke. And it's not for the fact that I don't think Zeke can have a top 5 year. It's not, I don't think he'll be an RB1. It's for the fact that I think they're going to get Tony Pollard a little bit more involved. So when you're talking about a 60-40 split with the RB1, you don't want that. You don't want your running back, your first pick in the draft, to have a 60-40 split, which you got to assume at this point Tony Pollard's going to be taking over some of the touches. So I know there's been some comments about how Zeke's going to have a rebound year. He's looked really good. I know Dan just posted a video on it. But to me, Zeke is a little bit overrated.
Yeah, hell no.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm Team Zeke. Hey, the fantasy dude, what's up, my man? Yeah, Team Zeke all the way. I think he's going to bounce back this year. And again, like I posted before, and people's feelings got hurt.
They always do.
They always do. So Zeke's going to be just fine. I think he shredded up this offseason. If you've been following Zeke, you've been seeing that he's been shredded. You've been seeing that he's been taking it serious. He probably, I'm going to keep it real. When your boy Dak goes out, let's keep it real. Dak is there to win games, and if he's not playing, the Cowboys are not making the playoffs, or not going far. Would you really try hard if you already got paid and your quarterback? I'm just saying. I know you got to play. I get that. You got to be professional. But a lot of these guys are divas. A lot of these guys, like especially Zeke, he came in with the crop top. Bro, he's diva as hell. So let's keep it real. I don't think he tried as hard because he knew, look, what's the point? I already got paid. We're not going anywhere, so let me just do what I need to do to just get by. So Dak's healthy. He's back. He obviously had a little shoulder strain, which is a little bit worrisome. I'm like, damn, man, you already strained his shoulders, and it's just like first week of camp. But Zeke's going to be fine. He's cut up. I like how the offensive line's getting back in. I don't really care about a 60-40 split because to me, Zeke's going to be he's going to be more efficient. He's going to have a lot of touchdowns. Cowboys offense is to the moon. They got one of the best offenses in all of fantasy. When it comes to
Dak.
Oh yeah, shit. They got a lot of good talent on offense. So they're going to put up points and they have a bad defense. So they're going to keep passing, keep throwing. I like Zeke this year. Even 60-40 split, I'm good. So I think at value at 5, I think that's a solid value. I don't think he's overrated or underrated. I think it's about 5. That's where he needs to be. What do you got?
And I don't think I agree with you on most of that. I don't think it's going to be a 60-40 split. I think there's a misconception that Tony Pollard's 10 times the running back Zeke is, which just isn't true. I think he's a good change of pace guy. Pollard will get his touches, but at the end of the day, it's Zeke's job to lose, and I think he continues where he picked off like a season ago. So
Okay. My guy Connor asked if this was a joke, man. Nah, we serious, man. Serious. Nah. Who's number 6?
Oh, shit.
Is it Saquon?
Saquon.
All right, number 6 is Saquon Barkley. I'll let you go first because you know where I'm at.
So okay, I'll ask you real quick. Would you take Saquon over Zeke?
Yeah.
Right now, you would.
Even knowing what I know, I take Saquon over Zeke.
You had a video saying you would take him 1 or 2. Does that still stand true right now?
It depends. It depends because if I get the number 2 pick in a snake draft, I don't play a lot of snake drafts. But if I did, I probably would go conservative just to save my money. Just with the reports that have come out now about him kind of being on halftime the first few weeks, I still be really aggressive in my Saquon take. So if I was feeling good about, hey, I'm in a league with, it's a 10-team league, I might still take Saquon just knowing that the draft's going to be a little bit deeper. If it's 12-team, I might pull back a little bit and go on a little bit safer if I get the number 1, 2, 3 pick. But to me, it's not really a concern because if he bounces back and he's number 5, he's number 6, like even if he's out for week, say he's out week 1 or 2, he picks up his normal routine by week 6, you're looking at potential RB1 like for the rest of the games that he plays. Saquon to me is just a league winner, and it's tough for me to pass that up, even at 2, 3, whatever it is.
I don't. A lot of people are like fading Saquon hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's overrated right now. If anything, a little bit underrated. But like, I wouldn't take him any higher than probably 5. Like, just in terms of how safe you want to be, I would probably still take Kamara Henry over him right now, just because you want your RB1. You don't want to. Yeah, you can lose your draft in your first round. It's hard to win your draft in your first round. So I would make sure I don't lose it.
I guess I want to ask you a question. It's kind of a side topic. How are you when it comes to drafting? Are you like, hey, I want to take upside and I don't really care about the risk? Or are you like, nah, with my first pick, 2 picks, 3 picks, I got to have a high floor so I don't miss?
I mean, I think after in last season, in a couple leagues, I took Clyde in my first round. I fell in love with his upside, and
took the bait.
That screwed me over. So now I'm shifting towards like, no, I'm not losing my draft in the first round. I'm taking the guy that I know is going to be
don't switch, bro. Just because you took 1 L, don't switch. Go aggressive, man.
I don't know. I like the point that A1 just made in the trade for Saquon. Don't draft him. That's a great point. If you can buy low on him a couple weeks into the season, yeah.
That's a hell of a point.
I think it's a good point. Yeah. I think it's a good point to trade for Saquon because I think that he's probably not gonna play week 1, and if he does, he'll probably be limited. Hopefully, you can bank on that team going, 0-2, 0-3, and they may be shaky with Saquon. They're like, oh no, I gotta change up. He's not here, so probably a good time to attack that. But Saquon, for me, I mean, he has the ability to be the RB1. So, I mean, there's no reason why he can't be the RB1. They upgraded the receiving core. I mean, even if their defense is a little bit suspect, so they're going to be throwing in the ball. Hopefully, Daniel Jones ascends like a Josh Allen. I saw an interesting stat on Twitter. Basically, Daniel Jones outproduced Josh Allen in the first 2 years, where Josh Allen was, suspect. We didn't know where he was. So hopefully, maybe
cherry pick stats.
Man, cherry picking. So hopefully, we can see Daniel Jones make an ascension. I'm always trying to go with the positivity, and hopefully these guys, can ball out because the league is better when you have more talent in the league. When you only have so many people, it's not as fun. We know, Patrick Mahomes is going to make the playoffs. He's done a damn near being in the championship. I mean, that's not like that's like the NBA when the Warriors were all jacked up. The Warriors are going all the way. It's almost not fun to watch the NFL. So, I like Saquon. I think at that pick, I think it's basically, hey man, 6. Hey, I'm rolling the dice. He could probably go number 1.
Nah, is he overrated or underrated?
Is he overrated? I think he's underrated at that pick. I'm paying him a little bit higher just because I believe in Saquon, man, and those quads, bro. How you get off those quads, man? They're just they're massive. They're massive. They're going to take you to the championship. So that's where I got.
Yes, sir. Let's answer some questions real quick.
That's a W. Spalding, that's a W. For redraft, that's a W.
What's a W?
Yeah, some guy asked about a trade.
Oh, okay. I have pick 9 in a non-PPR. I hope Zeke is there. If not, I wonder if Saquon is a risk there. DJ Klex, take Saquon, man. Hype Finest, what's up, my man? It's a good point. You're going to have to give up a pretty penny to get him. Aaron Jones. I'm curious, Galladay with help Saquon. Hey, Galladay is going to help Saquon as much as people don't realize that. Like, that's extending the field like that with the big body is going to help out tremendously. Saquon's my RB9. Okay. Who's the next pick?
Okay,
JT?
so the next pick we got is Davonte Adams.
Ooh, fun time. All right. GB wide receiver. Davonte Adams, number 7?
Number 7.
Number 7, man. Number 7 pick right now. Davonte Adams. Obviously, Aaron Jones is back. Randall Cobb is back. The pack is back. What are we doing with pick number 7? Overrated or underrated for Davonte Adams? Go ahead, my man.
You know, I'm going to say a little bit overrated. 7 is high. 7's very high. I think, again, it's hard to say overrated because there aren't that many better options, though, at the pick. But we saw MT taking MT at 6 last year. That's where he went in a lot of drafts.
Yeah.
That didn't pay off. It's going to be very hard, I think, for him to recreate the season he had last year. But he's still a first-round pick. But
So why do you think
know.
it'll be hard for him to recreate it? Because, I mean, obviously Aaron Rodgers is investing in the season. He's invested in Davonte Adams. Davonte Adams is invested in being the highest paid receiver in the league. Him dapping up MJ Jordan dap up, the MJ Pippen dap up. You think he's still not going to have the type of season he had last year? And he was hurt for a few games last year.
Honestly, it's more than I guess I'm just going off precedent. It's sometimes really hard when these receivers have like these historic seasons. It's really hard to go back to back. But like just if we're looking at just Devontae as a talent, there's literally nothing that can go wrong. Like he's a top 3 lock fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think he's locked. Hey, I think he's locked to be the WR1. Now that the gang's all back, everybody's motivated to have a kind of a fireworks, special type season. I think Davonte Adams is like the number 1 receiver, like by far. I think he might have like Randy Moss type year, like just something crazy. Just be honest. I think his level of play is going to elevate even more so than it did last year. So we're talking about Davonte Adams. I'm gonna say, it's hard for me to say underrated, but I think his level of play, especially if you're in PPR, I think his level of play, he's going to win you like 6-7 weeks out the year just by his level of play. So I'm going to say slightly underrated, but I think at 7 it's good value.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think he's underrated at 7 because, again, picking Saquon at 6 and Adams. I mean, I don't fault you for going Adams there. I mean, I get the whole Saquon injury. I get that. I'm a big proponent, and if they're even, then I'm probably going to lean the running back just because running back scarcity. But I mean, Davonte Adams, he's elite. Aaron Rodgers, I think it's one of the two things. Either Aaron Rodgers is going to tank everything and make it and make Green Bay
That's what I'm saying,
the worst franchise ever, or he's going to set the world on fire. I think he wants to get his boy paid. So that's how I look at it. I think he wants to get Davonte Adams paid. So he's going to do everything that he can to get that rolling, and then cut up and be like, all right, Green Bay, I'm out. Like, peace. So I'm with Adams, and Adams was a league winner last year, and he's just a difference maker. So for me, getting a difference maker in the first round, guys like Adams, guys like Tyreke Hill, guys like McCaffrey, Saquon.
Yeah.
I mean, you just look. If you missed out on the first 6 running backs, go with the difference maker at wide receiver there, and then in the second round you should probably get a running back. But I mean, I think Adams is a little bit underrated at that point.
Yeah.
All right. So the next
who's next? Yeah. The only reason I think, and just to piggyback on that, Tyreke Hill's next.
Yep.
If somebody sent you a deal, Davonte Adams, and they're trying to get a running back from you, and you're like, all right, Davonte Adams for Saquon. You're like, ooh, it's kind of close. You're like, Davonte Adams for Zeke. Send me Zeke and another player. Like when you're talking throughout the season, the difference maker that Davonte Adams is going to require one of those high end running backs plus another player. That's the reason I'm like, man, I don't know. That's tough because I wouldn't just give up Davonte Adams for like, I'm trying to think of the next running back coming up, but it's tough to just give him up for a running back. For Eckler, yeah, Eckler. We'll talk about Eckler too.
We will.
Yeah, so Tyreke Hill is next.
Chubb, like Eckler, Chubb, yeah.
Yeah, they're coming up. They're coming up quick. Chubb, man. Tyreke Hill is up next at 8. So at the 8th pick, Tyreke Hill, I'm going to let you go. You got him overrated or underrated? Coming back, same offense, same weapons, same situation. Think he's there, overrated or underrated?
Honestly, like I think him is similar to him, Davonte, and Kelsey. I have pretty much the similar opinions on all three. Like, you can't go wrong taking them, with your first round pick. They're gonna produce. They're gonna win you weeks.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of do you want to lock up that wide receiver or tight end spot, or do you want to maybe go for the more scarce running back, which can be hard to get right too. So do you want to, take a chance on an RB1 like a little lower, or grab the safe league winning upside guy? So I have no problem with Tyreke at 8.
Yeah, and I got a comment that said to say Adams is the guaranteed wide receiver is ludicrous with Tyreek's ceiling potential. And I don't see
Tyreke is the only one I think that can match.
He's the only one that could compete, but he has nowhere near Adams' ceiling because Adams' ceiling is with the catches too. Like Tyreke Hill has to still go with the volume that Kelsey's there. Like he's gonna have volume taken away from him. Devonta Adams is getting force fed targets, force fed everything. Like it's no contest. Even with Cobb there, you can call any tight end there, Aaron Jones there. It doesn't matter. The ball is going to Devonta Adams at least 10 to 15 times a game. So to me, I got Devonta Adams. Tyreke is nice, but I think he is who he is. And if you're taking him this round, you're probably going with either one running back in the first 3 rounds or maybe no running backs in the first couple rounds. So Tyreke Hill, to me, he's an upside play. You got to get some safe guys with him. I'll say he's fairly rated. If I have to say overrated or underrated, I'd say slightly overrated because I think his potential is capped. I don't think he can be like where Devonta Adams, I think, could be the number 1 player in fantasy football. In PPR formats. I don't think Tyreke has that upside because of the amount of catches and touchdowns it would take for him to get it. So,
that makes sense.
I don't know who number 9 is. Let's just go with Jonathan. No, I'll wait for Jonathan Taylor for when he gets back. Let's go with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, man, I'm a fan of Nick. It was Diggs. Yeah. Ooh, it was Diggs.
Diggs at 9. Wow.
Diggs at 9. So Diggs was number 9. This is Fantasy Pros, I think. Fantasy Pros PPR.
Fantasy Pros, okay.
Yep, Fantasy Pros PPR rankings. So Stephon Diggs at number 9, man. I just went on a rant about Davonte Adams and Hill. So go ahead, man. Let's hear your thoughts.
No, I love Diggs, but that's a little overrated for me.
Yeah.
He should be top 5, and his connection with Allen looks incredible. But if you can get like a Chubb and Eckler, I would take them over Diggs at 9.
I like Diggs. I like him as a player, and I think he wants to be like the. I like Diggs because he's the kind of player that wants to get better every season, and there's not every football player is like that. A lot of football players take it as a business. They get their money, they get their stats, but Diggs takes it personally, man. You can tell with his social media stuff and his grind, bro. And I know a lot of people are like, man, you gotta take a running back early, but when you can get a difference maker like Diggs, his floor is super high. He takes care of his body. He's not gonna get hurt. He's matched up with a good quarterback. Like, it's not going to me, that doesn't seem like the type of player that could fail. So when I'm looking at like an Eckler, a Chubb, even like a Saquon, a Zeke, to me, when you start looking at receivers at the back end of that first round, it's almost a safer play than taking like, hey, this running back has to do everything right in order to get to that same level. So if you're looking in your draft, you've heard me talk about, taking one running back or even 0 RB. I'm not a huge 0 RB fan. But talking about that kind of stuff, you got to take wide receivers, especially there, because it lowers your risk. A lot of running backs get hurt. Diggs is going to play. Adams is going to play. Tyreke Hill is going to play. And I think Diggs is going to play at a high level. So I think his floor, he's probably going to do similar numbers to what he did last year. But yeah, man. You got any good things in the comments right now or no?
Yeah, I just had one comment that goes, Money Mitch deserves to start. And then the next one goes, Josh Allen's the MVP.
Woo! MVP? MVP, huh? No way.
I like it, though. I like it. I like that call.
A lot of them calling it. I'm getting the GOAT comment in here. Josh Allen's the GOAT. Everybody's saying Diggs. I've had I got 2 people said Diggs is better than Davonte Adams this year.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't see
it. PPR league, I've seen like games where like Rodgers will just look at Adams and throw him a screen for like 7 yards. Right. Like literally just like that.
Like it's a run play. Like, almost like it's a run play. So, there's games Davonte Adams is going to have like 10 catches, 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. I don't see that in Diggs' repertoire. Mm-hmm. Maybe one time, but Davonte Adams is going to do that multiple times this season.
Multiple times, exactly.
All right. Well, then let's move to Chubb since we're just going to go there anyway. Chubb's the next one.
Yep.
So, obviously, I like Chubb. I like what he did last year. He got hurt. And Nick Chubb to me is the kind of player who is just you know what he is. He's a dynamic runner. He's going to score. They're going to run the ball. They're going to make plays happen. So to me, Chubb is like a lock for RB1 and has potential to be like RB5 even without the catches. I see his upside as having like a Derrick Henry type year. That's the
Yeah.
upside. Seriously, it's the upside. They're going to run him even with Kareem Hunt there. He's going to get if Nick Chubb gets 20 carries a game, he's getting 100 yards. He's getting one
Yeah.
touchdown. That's just who he is. And so when you project that out over 17 games, like his floor to me is 1,500 yards and like 15 touchdowns, dog. That's his floor if he plays his game. So to me, Nick Chubb is like one of the best locks that you can have. He's a very safe play. I do worry about his upside. I don't think he could ever be the running back one. So what are your thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, I think he's just a worse Derrick Henry just because of a little bit of lack of volume. Like he doesn't get the full workload like Henry does, but similar fantasy outlook, a lock to be a safe RB1. He's just in games like say the Browns are down by 14, suddenly, Chubb might not have a good game there. And he
Yeah.
might there's some games where he's gonna be a little bit, touchdown dependent just because of the lack of volume. But you can't be mad. You can't be mad if he's your RB1.
Yeah. I think he's a safe RB1, and then you can take some of those upside guys, like when I talk about Mike Evans. Now you take the upside with him because you know you have a Chubb floor. So we had a couple comments that want to talk about Dak. Is he even in the top 25?
No way. I'd hope not. I would hope not.
Let's just touch on him because two people want to talk about Dak real quick. Dak,
sure.
I've heard some crazy shit about Dak. 5,800 yards, 1,500 for Amari Cooper, RB5 for Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb potential, WR1. Like, the crazy Cowboy fans are out. I don't know what it is, bro. These crazy Cowboy fans are out, man. Do you think Dak really has an MVP, lead the league in touchdowns or yards type season just based off of, like, that 4 games last year? People were putting a lot of stock into those first 4 games. We saw Russell Wilson at a very similar place last year and didn't finish in the top. I don't think he finished top 5, right? So what are your thoughts on Dak, man?
I think I'm fine. I think Dak has a top 5 fantasy season. I think he has the rushing upside too. People underrate his rushing ability, but I think where people are, going a little crazy is like the fact that Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb both finished top 10, top 12. I don't think that happens. I think CeeDee's getting a little overrated right now. I think Amari's still the top dog. He's a top 10 wide receiver in the league, I think, and he'll be a fantasy wide receiver one. I see Lamb more like a fantasy high-end wide receiver too.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It doesn't help on Twitter when CD catches these amazing passes, and
Yeah.
I mean,
Training
it's just,
camp,
mean, when you see that, you're like, wow, is he next? Does he got next? And I'm a big fan of CD. I mean, I ranked him number 1 in the rookies coming out in 2020. I still rank him number 1 if we put Chase in there. I don't have Chase above CD Lamb as far as dynasty goes. So, I mean, I'm a big fan. I'm probably one of the biggest CD fans out there, having not be an Oklahoma fucking fan. But yeah, I think it's a little overrated right now. At least right now, we haven't seen anything to think that this dude is going to be a 1,500-yard receiver. I mean, he's already the Jerry Rice in the Twitter world. So, I mean, come on, man, we're not there. Look, I think Dak has the ability to put in an MVP season based on the weapons. But he's also a quarterback that kind of needs the weapons. I don't think he's an elite quarterback at all. Because he's kind of like a souped up Tannehill, in my opinion. He needs weapons around him to be good, which is nothing wrong with that. Because I think as a GM of a team, you need to give these quarterbacks. Not a lot of quarterbacks are the Patrick Mahomes, the Tom Brady, the Aaron Rodgers.
Let these Cowboy fans take them.
Man,
let the Cowboy fans
can reach on him. Look, I took Dak Prescott in a dynasty league, super flex. So I believe in him. It's just I like his weapons. His weapons make him a good quarterback. And being locked into CD, which again, I'm very, very high on CeeDee Lamb. So being locked into CeeDee Lamb for the long term, I like that in a quarterback. I don't like to take quarterbacks with no weapons. There's no point in doing that. So I like Dak Prescott. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of quarterbacks I take over him at this point in time.
For sure. Who we at next? Is your boy JT?
Is it? Hang on. So we got
JT, Eckler, who's coming up.
Yeah, it's got to be one of them.
It's right now. It's gonna be Eckler is next. Eckler's next.
All right.
Yes, sir.
The Eckler talk. So, hey, because you know I'm going to have my rebuttal. The floor is yours. Tell the case for Austin Eckler to be drafted at, what are we at, 10? Mm-hmm. Number 10 overall.
I'll take him at 7. I'll take him at 7, 8,
oh, my God.
9.
You want to throw up, man. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Let's see. Okay. To start off, I don't think volume is an issue. Some people are a little worried about the volume. I think even if he gets his 10 to 15 carries, that's enough for him to be an elite running back because he's going to catch at least 5 or 6 passes in a game. And then when in games he gets 15 to 20 carries plus his receptions, oh my goodness, that's where the upside kicks in. And I know he hasn't been utilized a ton at the goal line, and his lack of touchdowns has hurt him a little bit. But I think the Anthony Lynn is finally out of there, so no more subbing in Kalen Ballage at the goal line. I think it's Austin Eckler's team. I really think it's his year. He's going to get the goal line work as well. He has top 3 upside, top 5 upside, I think.
I don't see it at all, man, because they still – Joshua Kelly's still there. Jackson's still there. They still got other backs who are going to get carries.
And they were horrible when they had the chance last year. At least Kelly was very bad.
Yeah.
Jackson was all right. Jackson was not bad.
When you rely on them to be your main backs, it's kind of like the Mike Davis effect. When you rely on them to be your main backs, you're going to get some numbers that aren't sexy. Like, you're just going to get those plotter numbers, and they come in and do their job. I think Eckler is there as far as a safe back end first, start of the second round pick. He's a very safe player. You know he's going to get the touches. He's very consistent. He's going to get you 5 catches. So if you're looking for consistency, yes. But Eckler himself is not a candidate, in my opinion, to be a top 5 running back this season just based on who everybody's there. If he stays healthy, he'll be in the conversation because there's going to be running backs that get hurt. No doubt about it. But I think you got to look at him as like a high upside James White, just somebody who you know you can stick in your lineup. You're going to get 15 points out of him, and not really expecting a 30 or 40 point game. So if it's that, it is what it is. And if you want to take that with your first pick, cool. I think number 2, if you go to the second round and you grab Eckler, now we're talking. That's not your first round draft capital, which is a lot of times supposed to be upside. Who can win you a league in your first pick? That's where I see the fault with Eckler. So me, I'm off Eckler.
Yeah, so for Eckler, I think he's not going to lose you games or weeks, but I don't think he's going to win you weeks, in my opinion. Also, we have to see, look, is Herbert that dude? Because, is Herbert that dude? Because, again, he's a sophomore now. Team's got another year to prep for this dude. So, for me, I like running backs unless you're generational, again, like Saquon Barkley is, or in McCaffrey. I like teams on at least established to upper tier quarterbacks. That's just what I tend to draft because the running back needs quarterback play more than any other position. You have DeAndre Hopkins can survive with a horrible quarterback. I think Davonte Adams was going to survive with Jordan Love if he was playing. So for me, Eckler, I think he's a sexy pick. I don't think he's the smartest pick in my opinion. So at that point, I think he's sexy because, yeah, we've seen him catch a ton of passes. I think he's great in that regard. He's a souped-up Danny Woodhead, which is great. Again, that's what you want in PPR. You want those guys that catch the balls. But do we really know about Herbert? Is he going to ascend? Is he going to continue to move? I got some rookie cards, man. I'm hoping Herbert goes crazy, man. I'm trying to get paid. But we don't really know just yet. I had Herbert ranked number 2 ahead of Tua, but below Burrow in 2020. So I'm hoping that we can see the trend because this dude looks like the man. Like Herbert is awesome, dude. So I'm hoping, the Chargers have been terrible forever. Hopefully this dude can get in a Super Bowl. But yeah, for me, Eckler at that position, I think it's just a little bit overrated But I get where you're coming from. It's a sexy pick. To me, it's a like, you think that this dude's going to catch 100 balls, which I don't doubt that he could, but I just don't think he's going to win you weeks. I think he's not going to lose you weeks. He's just not going to win you weeks. So for me, in the first round at 10, overrated for me.
Give me Chase instead. All right.
All right, who we got? We got DeAndre Hopkins.
D-Hop. Damn, he's up that high? Number 11?
Who we got?
D-Hop, number 11, man. Obviously, he has some things to say. We thought he was on the verge of retiring here. So, obviously, that's not true. He's going to be playing this year. Who you got? What do you like about D-Hop this year? Or do you not like D-Hop?
I mean, I've seen him go way later in late second round. Like I've seen him drop, and if you can get him, mid second round, that's a tremendous value pick. Like he has close to Devontae level upside with Kyler as his quarterback. Like he's gonna have those multiple 30-point games this year.
Yeah.
At 11, I mean, I don't hate it, but I don't think you're gonna, I don't think he's underrated there by any means. I think you're getting the value that you're picking him at.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think D-Hop is who he is. We know what D-Hop is. No matter the quarterback, no matter the situation, he's going to provide top 5 wide receiver numbers, whether that's wide receiver 1 or that's wide receiver 5. That remains to be determined, but we know his upside is wide receiver 5. So a lot of people are talking about the vaccine issue, and that being a concern. Is that a concern for you at all, my man? Are you worried at all about, hey, if he is unvaccinated and he doesn't want to get the vaccine and miss his time, like, does that drop you down in his status, or have you because the 11th round for 12 team is or 11th pick for 12 team is a first rounder, 11th for in the 10 team is a second rounder. So does that concern you at all?
I mean, we just got to wait and see how it goes, because if the NFL requires them all to get it, which I think they can, because it's a business at the end of the day, they can easily demand that all their players get it, then it could become a problem. Like you're not going to draft someone who's not going to be able to play.
Right. No, that's facts. So I don't know. I'm good.
Yeah. So
I'll take D-Hop.
D-Hop, I think at that position, I think you're absolutely right. I'd like to get him in the second round. I think he is going in the second round in most drafts. We just put on Fantasy Pros. So for me, I think at this point, 11, I think is overrated. I would rather see him in the early to late second. That would be a good value for him. The vaccine, man, this whole COVID stuff is horrible in the sense. I mean, I don't like COVID at all, man. Hopefully, more and more people start getting vaccinated, and we'll see the trend go down. Because I like to be at the games, maskless, talking shit to a person 1 foot away from me in their face, man. Because that's what I do, man. It's just fun, all fun, good. And go Bills Mafia, man. Go Bills Mafia. We going to Super Bowl, bro.
We at 12.
We out. So anyway, number 12 is Jonathan Taylor.
Hey,
and that's the boy. I'm gonna go ahead and start it off, man. Jonathan Taylor, man. He is definitely underrated at pick 12. Man, should go a lot higher, bro. I mean, you already knew I was gonna say that, but look, Jonathan Taylor, an elite prospect coming out in 2020. Obviously had him as my number 1 rated prospect. He's got everything that you need: size, speed. I mean, he's got the offensive line. You got to upgrade it in quarterback, so it's definitely what I like to see. He plays in a dome, which is even better as far as weather conditions. The Colts got an elite defense, so a lot of things in the running back area that I look for. Do you have good weather? That's huge. Mm-hmm. Do you have a good offensive line? They have probably the top unit. Do you have average to above average quarterback play? I think they do. I think Wentz, as you probably have seen on TikTok, Justin made a video about the low end QBs with high upside. Wentz is that guy. He has the ability to put on MVP levels. We've seen that. He just got hurt, and then they didn't give it to him that year. So he has that ability. Do they have good receivers on the outside? I think Pittman's great, but we don't know about T.Y. Hilton. Obviously he's downtrending, but do we have Paris Campbell? What is he going to do? So who knows? But we have at least Pittman out there to take away some of the things. He is an efficient receiver. When he was receiving the ball last year, he was very efficient doing that. It was at least in the top 3, top 5 as far as receiving metrics. I don't have it off the top of my head, but top 3, top 5. Will Wentz use him? Remains to be seen. We don't really know, but every report in camp looks explosive. I saw a video a couple months ago. He was catching balls from 30, 40 yards out. So he's got the hands. We need to see him more in the PPR standpoint. But for me, at this point in time, at pick 12, he's extremely underrated at pick 12. I think you can get him a little bit higher.
All right. We good?
Yeah, we go.
I do have to go after this. Yeah, I have to go after this, so this will be my last take for now.
Good.
But Jonathan Taylor is overrated at 12. I've seen him go at 6, 7, even at 12. I think he's overrated. I published an article if anyone wants to check that out at Vendetta Sports Media. Shout out to them. Let's start off. Okay, we know there's going to be. He doesn't have the 100% workload. I think we can both agree on that, right? Nyheim Hines, he had a very solid season in his limited role last year. He's going to take up, some of the reception, some of the third down work. That's going to be Nyheim Hines with his shiftiness. And I know some people are, Marlon Mack is going to have a big impact. Others are, I think you guys are saying he's irrelevant. But I mean, to that, I say, like, if you have a running back who's coming off a pretty bad injury, why would you re-sign him and bring him back if you don't, end up utilizing him? So I think the reason they bring Mack back is because they don't trust Taylor with that entire workload and are going to end up utilizing Mack because Mack had a 1,000-yard rushing season just 1 year removed from his injury last year. So I think Mack is going to take some carries away, and at minimum, he's going to vulture like at least a couple touchdowns, and that can make all the difference in winning you your week.
I feel that. The reason why they re-signed him, though, is he's a mentor. Jonathan Taylor was very, very pleased when he was coming in as a rookie with Mack and his humbleness and his ability to kind of help him along and learn the profession. I think Mack is a very good talent. However, that injury is huge for running backs. That Achilles is almost a death kill, just like it is for probably Cam Akers, which is horrible to see. I don't like to see injuries with anybody. But something about the Achilles, man, they just can't come back from. ACLs you can come back from, but Achilles, it seems like, that is just the worst injury that you could kind of have from any player. So, look, I think Mack is a great talent as far as, I think he's like a Gus Edwards, plug him in like a Darrell Henderson. Like, he's going to be a great RB2, but for Mack, I think he is there because he's mentoring. He was a great leader off the field. But we'll see. I get you where you're coming from as far as Nyheim Hines. But
man,
again,
those guys ain't doing nothing, man. Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines, they're role players. Those guys are role players. So Marlon Mack, he's gonna be there for 5, maybe 10 carries a game. Nyheim Hines is gonna be there for 3 to 5 carries, 2 to 3 catches. That's it. Those guys are injury replacements. Both of them, I think the Colts are expecting a playoff run here. So both of those guys are there because they know the offense and they are capable. They've shown that they've been capable enough. If something were to happen to Marlon Mack, something happens to Jonathan Taylor, they can take over the load. Jonathan Taylor is underrated right now. At the back end of the first, he has RB1 upside. I'm not saying he's going to be the RB1, but he has the upside for it. So at the end of the day, if you're getting a player at the back end of the round that can give you that kind of upside in the first or second round, depending on how you're drafting, to me, that's all the signs you want. First round, or was it first or second round draft capital? Second round draft capital.
But he would have been first round had the depth not been there. There was tons of depth in the 2020 draft. So you have to factor that in. He would have probably been where Najee Harris was, if not higher. He would have been higher than Najee Harris if he was in the 2021 class. I guarantee you.
Yeah, and even the comments said that's a big love giving Mack and Hines. It's true. Like, I'm probably giving them more carries than they're even going to get, more touches they're going to get. And somebody else said Pittman's upside. It's like, yeah, we're talking about they're going to be able to stretch the field. Carson Wentz is a much-needed addition to this team. He's going to create some running lanes that Phillip Rivers couldn't. So I know you got to get going, my man. Is it time?
Yeah.
Hey,
it's been good. It's been good.
Joining us, man. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for hopping on. It's been fun. We'll do it again.
Hey, everybody that follows us, go follow Random Rundown, man. He taps in with us, and he can take the shit talking. There's not a lot of people out there that can take it, so he can take it and he can dish it back, man. Much love.
Hey, last thing I want to say before I leave, Joe Mixon and Antonio Gibson, both are studs. Draft them.
That's right. Let's get it.
cool. Okay, we'll revisit. Oh man, he's cool. I
Yeah,
like him, man. Randall's cool, man. No, that was fun. So what pick are we on right now?
We're on pick 13.
Pick 13.
So
Hey,
second round.
you want to finish at 15?
Yeah, we'll do 15.
We'll go to 15, and then I don't know how to get him off the live, but we'll go to pick 15, man. If there's any other players you guys see that you want to talk about, drop it in right now, because we're gonna go. The last three players are Aaron Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Travis Kelsey. So those are the last three players. So if you want anybody else outside of those three, let us know. So you said Calvin Ridley,
it's
Kelsey, and Joe Mixon?
No, it's Aaron Jones.
Oh, Aaron Jones, my bad. So let's talk about Aaron Jones real quick. We skipped over somebody then.
No, that's it.
All right, cool. Let's talk about Aaron Jones real quick. Okay, they want to talk about Locket, Edmonds, Gibson, Mixon. All right, cool. Aaron Jones to me is he's same value as he had last year. He's going to have some really good games. He's going to have some games where they're throwing the rock a little bit more. But obviously Aaron Jones is a vital part to that offense, especially later on as the season progresses. That snow starts coming into Green Bay and in Chicago and some of those other cities they play in. You cannot be mad at Aaron Jones' value. I think they are going to try to get A.J. Dillon a little bit more involved, because they got to protect their asset. They just invested heavily in Aaron Jones and to make sure that he's there playing in playoff games and making an impact. So do I think they use him? Hell yeah. And do I think A.J. Dillon is going to have a little bit more of an impact? Yes. But Aaron Jones is still going to be the guy. He doesn't have the top 5 RB upside that you're looking for. He might be like RB5, RB6, but he won't be top 3 RB. So Aaron Jones, just know what you're drafting.
Yeah, I'm with Justin there. I think at 13 is probably the value that he is. Aaron Jones with Aaron Rodgers, man, you have to take this dude. I mean, again, I like to tier my running backs
he should
towards
be top 10, huh?
Yeah, he really should be. I think he's right at the value, though. That's just where I have it. 13 seems right for Aaron Jones. With Aaron Rodgers back in the fold, he should be just fine. He's going to get a lot of points. Go draft Aaron Jones as your back-end RB. Maybe if you have the pick 12 and pick 13, Taylor and Jones, you got that. Ooh.
Upside and safe.
That's the upside and safe right there. That's what you want. So then boom, boom. And then come back, get your tight end, and then go receivers the rest of the way, which is the Dan strategy. Should hit you this year in fantasy. We'll give you some money. So
all right.
The next one we got
Travis Kelsey.
is Travis Kelsey. Ridley. Sorry, Ridley. Let's go to Calvin Ridley. So for Calvin Ridley, okay. So Calvin Ridley, to me, has wide receiver 1 upside. And if you've been following the fantasy gods, you've been following Clay, he said that it's wide receiver 1. No vanilla. He is saying wide receiver 1. Calvin Ridley.
Hey, shout out to P. Shout out to Clay, man.
Shout out to the other fantasy gods that you probably had never seen. But anyway, they out there for you guys, man. Hit them in the DMs. Go to their main pages. Hit them in the DMs. Let them know the questions. They have certain takes that we don't have, that we're not thinking of, but they got it. So, look, shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to P. We out here. But Calvin Ridley, okay, so again, Calvin Ridley is going to have a monster target share. He's going to have a monster target share. I mean, I like him tiered with that horrible defense. Kyle Pitts is there. He's the fancy new shiny toy. Calvin Ridley is not the sexiest player on that team. That's going to be Kyle Pitts, okay? But
Mike Davis.
Man, Mike Davis. I'm tired of talking about Mike Davis. Look, Calvin Ridley's not sexy, but he's going to get it done. He's gonna have 150 plus targets this year. They're in a dome. Matt Ryan's going to be slinging it. I mean, Calvin Ridley should be there. When Julio Jones is out, he was getting monster target shares. His red zone numbers were dipping a little bit, but the targets are going to make up for the efficiency. So go get Calvin Ridley. I like him at value right there.
And I like Calvin Ridley. I do think the upside is there, but there's also a lot of risk when you're talking about Calvin Ridley when you're looking at the other receivers. Tyreke Hill, some of those, Stephon Diggs, those other guys you're taking there. When Ridley's the next one up, it's kind of tough to take Calvin Ridley there and expect him to be that same type of receiver. So I think Calvin Ridley has the upside, but I will not blame you if you're like, hey, that upside, the risk is a little too much for me right now. I think he's going to be locked in at that value. I would still say he's a little overrated at 14. just because of some of the other players you can get at, probably right around value. But I think there's other players I would look at a little bit more of a safety net. We haven't seen that season from Calvin Ridley yet where he's just been super dominant. So to invest that type of draft capital in him, I'm not sure I'd do it with that type of player. So for me, Calvin Ridley, he has the potential to be there, but there's also a little bit of a floor I'm worried about there. So last but not least, Travis Kelsey. Let's see some other players.
And then we'll go to questions.
We'll go to questions after that. All right, Travis Kelsey to me, yes, take him. Underrated. Anytime you can get a top tight end, I think this is a personal strategy, something I've employed. Anytime you can get a difference maker at the tight end position, it makes you that much more competitive to win a championship. Which, if you're playing fantasy football, you're trying to win a championship and make money, talk shit to your teammates, talk shit to your fellow league mates, your friends, family, whoever it is.
Even TikTok accounts.
Even other TikTok accounts. Travis Kelsey to me is the type of player you put him in your lineup, you know you're getting wide receiver or 1-ish, 2-ish out of your tight end position, which is so much better than taking some of the other tight ends there with a lot of question marks. So when I'm looking at Travis Kelsey, I think if you take him, you know that you have a floor that you can deal with. You have the upside that's there as well. And, I mean, to be honest, outside of Kittle, Darren Waller, maybe Kyle Pitts-Hockenson, there's no other option out there that I would take outside, before those top 10 rounds. So grab Kelsey, feel confident in it, get a tight end early. If you're watching this live, get a tight end early.
Yeah, and again, if you follow in the fantasy gods, man, we got tight ends on lock, man. We got some sleeper tight ends, so stay tuned. We're going to keep talking about it. Travis Kelsey at pick 15, I feel like is at value, probably a little bit underrated. He's a beast. Again, if it's redraft, we don't care. I'm more of a specialty in dynasty leagues, but for redraft, I mean, he's a stud, man. You're going to get the stud. These tight ends usually develop later. He's still going to be a beast. We've seen him in the offseason do incredible things with the tight end camp. He's dominant. Him, Kittle, Waller. You get one of those three compared to the value that you would have gotten with that second receiver or third receiver, way more valuable with the tight end position. I just drafted Darren Waller in a dynasty league that I just started, and the next team that I compared it to, they drafted A-Rob. Okay, so when they drafted Gesicki and I drafted, I think it was either Cooper Kupp or Jerry Jeudy or something like that. So it was Waller and Jeudy versus A-Rob and Gesicki. So when I went back and I was looking at the point differential, we had a 4-point edge on point differential from basically what you could have drafted versus what you did draft. So
that was last season.
Exactly. And that was last season. So think about it. What happens this season? I think Judy's going to go up, Gesicki's going down, and then Waller is going to match or if not do better than A-Rob. I mean, it's incredible as far as the tight end position. You got to grab one early. So I think going back to Kelsey, I think that's a good pick. I think he's a little bit underrated at that pick, but around 15 seems like a good spot for him. All right, so
quick hitters. We're
going to go through some questions. I appreciate you guys commenting. We apologize for not getting to your questions, man.
Real quick, if y'all could do us a few favors, join the Discord if you want to chop it up with us. Hey, subscribe to the YouTube. Add us on Instagram. Fantasy guys, we're taking over all our stuff right now. TikTok's our main voice. Follow us on Twitch. We're gonna turn this up all the way, especially during the season. So the best way you can help us out right now, outside of paying us or subscribing, is following us along on these platforms and helping us grow, sharing the word, man. When you see our posts, share our stuff, man. That's the best way y'all can help. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We have 7,300 followers. We just started this 2 months ago. I mean, it's incredible. Thank you guys for everything that you guys do. We really appreciate it, man. Again, don't take these things personal because we could talk the mess, but it's not personal. We just do it for fun. But we really appreciate every single one of you guys. Really, really appreciate it. So continue to share, follow, do all that stuff for us. And we're always in our DMs trying to answer questions. We're always trying to answer the Q&As. We're trying to answer comments. Every time you lay a comment, I'm out here grinding. So trying to answer these questions. We got tons of comments, tons of stitches, man. We are trying to get to you guys, but that's what I'll do for you guys because that's what I love to do. So anyway, going through some questions. I'm going to roll it back a little bit. Let's see. Locket Tyler Lockett, just my opinion on Tyler Lockett. I think he's super underrated. He continues to go low in a lot of different drafts that I've been in.
You're just going quick hitters
Yeah, we're just going to do quick hitters, man, real quick so that we can move forward. So, Tyler Lockett, man, I'm a big fan, so draft him early. Chase Edmonds.
Tyler Lockett, overrated. I'm not a big Tyler Lockett fan. I think he'll be very inconsistent week to week. And you don't really have the upside, maybe 1 or 2 games with the upside that you want, especially with the Seahawks talking about they're looking to run the ball a little bit more. Tyler Lockett, not a fan.
So he's lying, he's capping, dog. Tyler Lockett, go draft him, man, and go win your leagues. So Chase Edmonds is a J-Man fan.
Grab Chase Edmonds, whatever you can do. If there's one player I recommend, I'm going to back him until the wheels fall off. Chase Edmonds this year will be a RB1. Book it.
Let's get it. So I have a bet with Isaiah, another god of ours, Joe Mixon over James Conner. Chase Edmonds is going to steal all of the work, so thank you, Isaiah, for giving me some free money. That's what happens when you are vanilla in your takes. Gotcha, motherfucker. All right. So the fantasy dude gave me a question. Do you like Kelsey into the first, early second? Do you prefer targeting Waller later? So for me, I'm targeting Waller in the 3rd round. Most of my mock drafts, most of my drafts that I've been in, I've gotten a consistently RB, Waller, and then I've gone the rest of the way with receivers. I like that team. It seems to be the way to go. But Justin, what do you think about that one?
I got a really, really good point about that, actually. So, to me, I'm going to grab Kelsey. If I'm back into the 2nd round and he's still there, I'm grabbing Kelsey. And the reason why is because I don't want to wait another turn to see if Waller's going to be there, to see if Kittle's going to be there. People are sneaking up and grabbing tight ends. So if you miss out on Kelsey, you have to wait all the way around to your turn. Do I get Kelsey or do I get Kittle? Do I get Waller? It's not in your control no more. Whereas the receiver game isn't going to be that much different. We were talking about Calvin Ridley. There's DK Metcalf there, kind of in the same area. You can still get a wide receiver, a back-end wide receiver 1 or a high-end wide receiver 2 that come back around. If you miss Kelsey, Kittle, and Waller, and it's your pick at the back in the 3rd, you're looking at like Hawkinson or Pitts. And now your whole draft strategy is messed up. So I think take control of your draft. Grab the tight end you want no later than that middle of the 2nd round, depending on your pick. And don't let the draft dictate you. You dictate the draft. Go win your league. Don't let it come to you. Because if you're targeting Waller in the 3rd, somebody else may have that same strategy. Snake him, and now you're done. Now your whole strategy is done. And you're like, oh, man, I'm panicking. What do I do now? So, for me, grab the guy you want early.
What else we got?
Ooh, Lakers got Buddy Hield. Let's get it.
Ooh.
I'm a Laker fan, by the way. Let's get it. Buddy Hield, let's go. Kuzma's gone. Thank you. Let's see. Dalvin for 1st overall. Nah, we just talked about that. C-Mac's the 1st pick. CHE, I don't want to talk about CHE right now. He's average. I think he's a good pick for where he's at right now. 3rd round. Take him. Ridley Lamb combo. Cool. Gaskin Carson, yep. J-Rob. Who said Ryan Picnic, man? Pinnick, sorry, I didn't mean to butcher your last name. Pink or whatever it is. J-Rob, nah, man. We're not buying into J-Rob. It's Travis Etienne. It's going to be his workload. I think J-Rob's going to get some carries. He'll be okay, but don't draft him if you're thinking he's going to be anything more than an RB3. Winston will be QB, yep, with the Winston train. Dalvin, number 1. No, C-Mac, number 1. Chase Edmonds, boo. Hype finest, man. We gonna be arguing all year. Watch, when you draft him. Thank me later. Thank me for the cash in your pocket when you draft him. J.K. Dobbins. What do you think about J.K., man?
Yeah. All right, so J.K. Dobbins for me, he was an elite talent coming out in 2020. I always had the assumption that he was going to dominate in 2021. Back in 2020 when we were doing rookie drafts, so I have him pretty high. I don't like the fact that Lamar Jackson, I apologize. Lamar Jackson is there to steal away carries at the goal line, but man, J.K. Dobbins, every time I turn on the tape of J.K. Dobbins,
violent.
I mean, he's a violent runner. He can catch the ball. I mean, they just got to release him, man. Give him the work. If he gets the work, he's going to be very scary this year. So, I mean, he's definitely, a 4th round, 5th round pick.
Yeah, he's good value.
I think that's good value if you miss out on, like, the 2nd round running back. I think if you get him, as your RB3,
you're looking really good. If you have him as your RB2,
RB2.
If you have him as your RB2, like again, I think if you get him as your RB3, you're solid. But if you get him as your RB2, there may be some concerns. But again, Gus Edwards, I don't think he's again a Darrell Henderson type. I don't think he's going to have any issues with JK. I think JK is probably going to get about 60% of the carries, and I think that's all you want to see out of him. Over the course of the year, he started to get more and more. Just like Jonathan Taylor at the end of the year, once these teams start figuring out, okay, let's start taking the talent that we've drafted.
Yep.
Let's start giving them the carries.
Yep, it always happens.
I mean, it's over from there. So I like J.K. Dobbins. Justin, what do you think about J.K.?
J.K., man, draft him. Draft him with confidence. Gus Edwards is going to be a problem there, too. They both run violent. They both are heavy hitters. And especially towards the end of the year, you're going to want both of those guys because they're not going to want Lamar running as much. They're not going to be throwing the football as much in those AFC North games. Take J.K. with confidence. Down for the beef. I got you. Hype. Hey, we going to be there, bro. Still live. Yeah, we live. We heading off, though, Fantasy Mob. We heading off. All right. Hey, it was a pleasure, man. Pleasure doing this with you guys. Make sure you guys follow along all season and tap in with us, not just here on TikTok, but any of our other platforms, man. We're here to help, here to get you guys the knowledge. It's the gods, bro.
Yeah, we coming in like Thanos, baby.
It's the
We
gods.
got the gauntlet out here, man. This is what we do.
We out. Appreciate y'all.
Like I said, Fantasy Mob, we're going to tap in with you. We're going to do a live. I'll hit you up during the week. We'll figure it out.
Peace.
But peace. We out here. Yeet.